We'll return soon. That were the last words we heard when the second attempt from Popeyes just failed. Now we're here. Well, the landscape has changed. When you're not just adapting, we're thriving at the moment. Get ready, because today we're excited to unveil our strategy to our exploit plan for the third attempt. We're Team Viva. It's Emilio, Sofía, Aranza, and myself, Malte. It's a pleasure to be here. We're very grateful for it, and now we're getting started.
So now that we have the chance to go even deeper in this case competition about Chinese fast food markets, we should know a little bit more about the case overview. So Popeyes was founded in 1972, and it has over more of 3,600 restaurants worldwide, and is distinctive because of its spicy chicken and regional flavors. So we would go through 3 key points right here today. The first one is how to successfully adapt this brand to fit the needs in the Chinese market. The second one is to give new ideas to enter this market and compete with multinational brands that are already there, and also national brands. And third, last but not least, is also like to take the advantages we have to create a synergy with Tim's coffee as well, and then we'll work together. As this being the third attempt to enter China, it offers both opportunities and challenges, so we need a structured plan to this.
Well, here's a quick recap of Popeye's history with the Chinese market. They have had 2 failed attempts, one in 1999, the other one in 2019, and the third attempt started in 2022. By 2024, they have 14 locations in Shanghai.
Analyzing the competitive target market, first of all, we identified main factors. Some of them are the bargaining power of the buyers. We realized that Chinese consumers be more focused, and it's more important for them to identify those brands that offer them a good quality, a value, and convenience. So something strategically is to adapt the menu and the prices. Now about the bargaining power of suppliers, we would like to propose to the company, to adapt and make a little change in the supply chain. Look for new suppliers, local suppliers, and this would build consumer trust. About the substitutes, as we already know, Chinese consumers have many alternatives. Finally, about the rivalry among competitors, the main competitors that they have are the international restaurants as McDonald's and KFC. So, to succeed, Popeyes must compete on price, flavor, and service, and they have to establish an unique and a specific differentiator.
So going more into the macroeconomic factors that impacts Popeyes' expansion in China, first we have the main ones. The social one, we can see the consumers' demographics as quite promising because it's 64.9% of people under 35. And we also have the chicken is especially popular among young people, which is specifically mostly Generation Z. Then we have that the FDA regulations are inspections very frequently, and also the chicken price increased by 48% between 2021 and 2022. Then we have that environmentally, 60% of chicken suppliers are certified in animal welfare standards. So, of course, we have to take advantage of Popeye's distinctive recipe and unique flavor profile to grow, but we have to shift from crowded areas to more underserved and suburban markets to grow, because there's a potential growth right there. And well, also, we have to face some opportunities and challenges, as I mentioned before. So we have to take RBI's support and also Tim Hortons' 11 million member to support us in this case. We are entering the target cities, Tier 2 cities as our main target right now. We think there's growth potential right there and less competition. And this is also very important because we consider that for success, we have to balance high quality with low pricing to position Popeyes like in a top level right there to consider them in China's fast food market.
Now about the projection of the market size, there is a projection to the 2025 that the value of this market would be 1.2 billion yens. About the market share, just the 25.8% of the total customers in China prefer Western fast food. However, the 70.4% of them prefer the Chinese fast food. So already mentioned this. If Popeyes implement these new popular ingredients in the new menu, the company could impact in this second percentage. Now, about the Popeyes stance of the main competitors in the fast food industry, we would like it to suggest the company to take into account 4 main pillars. The first one would be the product quality. Implement ingredients, popular ingredients in China, like rice, noodles, spices, and seasonal ingredients. About the pricing strategies to take into account the prices of the other competitors. About the cultural adaptation to consider make partnerships with apps about digital payment and delivery. Finally, about the customers' experience to implement fast order processing and loyalty programs. As we can see here, there's how it looks a benchmark if Popeyes make it, taking into account the other competitors.
So now we're going to continue with our market entry strategy. We can see, or we also, based on our analysis, what you did already, that we want to go with a lower tier city approach. In this case, we got prepared some facts. We can see here by, for example, on the market opportunity analysis, that we have a target market which has available about 1.3 billion people, which are not living in a tier 1 city areas. This implements like around about 70% of the Chinese population that's living there. And for example, if we're looking on key figures, we can see that on the tier 3 city areas, we have around 330 million people that are living there, which is equivalent to the US population at the moment. If we're looking on the servable addressable market, we can see at the TAM for the Western Far Food, we have a market share of 25% more or less. What are the advantages in this case? We've got 2 main advantages, which is the lower competition we've got in the tier 3 and 4 plus cities. And we have also lower operational costs, which is based on rent and it's also key factors. The growth drivers for these lower tier city areas are mainly economic factors. We can see we have a discernible increase of the income. We can see the government support the modernization process and infrastructure in these areas. And based all on this, we've got also social trends that are implementing forwards in this. We can see that consumers in lower tier cities are progressively aspiring to and demanding a lifestyle that matches to a lifestyle in higher cities and in tier 1 cities and major cities. On the right side, we've got the illustration of what describes a tier 1 city. For example, we've got Beijing and Shanghai with a GDP far over 300 billion and a high population and going down statistically downwards. Our marketing focus in these areas is basically the target audience, the brand positioning, and the digital tactics. So how are we going to do that? The implementation strategy is very clear. We want to go with an omni-channel strategy in lower tier cities based on starting with the local partnerships and the supply chain efficiency. We want to go and work with local brands and suppliers to enhance the image of the company by also boosting the revenue through a more efficient supply chain. Our targeted expansion in this case, we've got that we want to go and open round about 500 locations for the first to drive profitability in the tier 3 and 4 plus cities. That's the main case. Then further, we can see that we have an integrated customer experience, which is in cooperation with the digital engagement. We want to build online structures on online and offline sales. The integration can be worked on also on the social media apps QIShu and Pinduoduo to work better on this case. For the menu location, we see that we want to offer and keep going with the Popeyes core menu, but just adding the flavors that we already mentioned. And for the last point is the affordable pricing structure. We can see if we based on our supply chain and the local partnership, we can go down lower around 15 to 20% to be more efficient. Our operational focus in this case is that we want to use the Tim Hortons logistic and supply chain network. If we got there, the target is to rapidly expand to 400 to 500 locations and to ensure the consistent quality in this. How we can measure that? We've got the implementing KPIs. In this part, we have the market share growth. We've got the return customer rate, the same store sales grow, and the quality audit scores, which provide that we keep going on with these qualifications, right? On the left side, we can see the market potential which we got here in China in general. We have an annual growth rate of 4.4% in the fast food segment. We have lower TCVs, which are substantial growing. We have a growing middle class, and a very important fact is that we have about 70% of youth in lower tier cities that have spent over 80% of their monthly income. And the long-term goals we've got here is the market expansion for sure. We want to keep the brand positioning, and we want to get the customer engagement.
Now, as we can see here, these are some of the risks that could happen during the implementation of the proposal, but we wanted to highlight the most that we think that have more possibility to happen. First of all, the lower brand recognition, a mitigation plan that the company could apply in this risk could be the network of Tim Hortons, because they work as a synergy. Second one, the price sensitivity. These implement and think about a partnership with some apps or platforms like Pinduoduo, as he said it. These are some apps that Chinese consumers use it to find cheapest food. And finally, about the quality control. Identifying and specific strict supplier standards and continue staff training.
So now we'll go briefly with the marketing mix. First, we have the product. We're going to continue with Louisiana's style fried chicken, but obviously with what we mentioned before, some Chinese flavors like shingo pepper, and we want to keep the high quality. Then we have the price. The price structure is going to be 15 to 20% lower than the Tier 1 city. And place, we want to be in like very crowded areas, high traffic areas, such as, I don't know, shopping malls and near universities, because we also want to do family humbles and student deals. Then we have the promotion. As we mentioned before, it's all going to be digital marketing and also with influencers, collaborations.
Well, as for the financial situation, we have to remember that Restaurant Brands International was the last one to buy Popeyes China for $15 million, along with their 14 locations in Shanghai. Also, we have to talk about Tim Hortons' situation, as they are a key ally and benchmark for Popeyes. Although they have managed to almost double their sales year after year for the past 5 years, they have not been able to be profitable, as they have losses since 2019, and they keep increasing, and it's mainly due to the high average cost of sales, averaging 125% of the total revenue. Taking all of this into consideration, we think Popeyes needs to have this approach, mainly the effective cost structure. With an effective cost structure, we think Popeyes could be profitable, specifically to align the percentage of cost of sale with at least the benchmark, and also explore cost-efficient alternatives like the use of local ingredients and smaller restaurants with fewer staff and takeout delivery oriented. Well, here are some of the proposal impacts and forecasts. It was a little tricky to make them because Popeyes is not a publicly traded company, but we managed to do them with benchmark financial statements and the financial statement of Popeye back when they were public in 2012-2016. We were able to do this forecast and these financial impacts. We made scenarios, pessimistic, conservative, and optimistic scenarios, and the key takeaways of that is that if Popeyes is able to achieve all its goals, including the 500 stores by 2028, they must, and also an effective cost structure, they could be making in revenue $650 million by 2028 and $138 million of net income by the same year.
So basically, just to sum up our presentation on our market analysis, we come to our conclusion. Based on our 3 different main parts we want to channel. We got the current situation, we've got 2 failed attempts in the market in China. which based is on rivalry, strong rivalry, and the acquisition process, which is also still a problem. Our action plans, but we mentioned already with the approach to the lower tier cities, we can see the opportunity and the objectives. We've gotten a market opportunity, which is incredible for the untapped potential that at 70% of the lower tier cities is the population of China. We've got the consumer insights, which is 70% of the spend overs, right? So basically on this, we can also see the strategic approach. We've got the market focus. We're gonna go with the tier 2, 3, and 4 plus markets. We've got the product adaptation to the customers, still going with the core product, but also implementing the Chinese tastes. Then we want to add the operational strategy by using a more efficient supply chain. And we have got the digital engagement based on linking our supply chain with also the localized apps. How we can control our success in these areas? Basically, already mentioned the track market share with the KPIs, we can control them. And also we have got the risk mitigation by using the Tim Hortons network and focus on underserved markets and ensure to deliver the suppliers' relations. That was our presentation. Thank you very much.
So, you talk about being 15 to 20% lower in pricing. What exact price point would that be? And how do you know that's what your customers are able and willing to pay for?
Well, we analyzed some of the purchasing power in tier 3 and 4 cities, specifically in China. Well, my teammate here also mentioned like 80% of the, like how much they spend in this kind of like fast food. And well, we were thinking about lowering the prices by the supply chain differentiator that we are proposing. This could be with local suppliers because of the synergy also with Tim Hortons, that Tim Hortons is already there in tier 1 and 2 cities. But like to make this synergy, that's how we are planning to do it, and that's how the low cost it's gonna be like made.
The numbers though, you said that 80% are consuming. Was that off of tier 1 data or tier 3 data?
No, that's based on tier 1 data.
It's based on tier 1 data, but you're going to tier 3.
Yeah.
So how do you know tier 3 is willing to?
And we could see that, for example, KFC, which has 10,000 stores there in China, they're mostly located in tier 1 and tier 2 areas. And the rivalry, for example, Wellness is to have like so much, or like, I don't have the number at the moment, but more sales due to the base that they're 50% lower than the KFC prices actually, which we have there in China. So we have the structure that with going down under the prices from KFC, we can be able to get more higher and to the lower operational cost. That's why we want to achieve the target of the 15% down.
I'd like to understand a little more what makes a lower tier city a lower tier city. Is there a reason why you think there's more untapped potential there? And is that the same reason why other people haven't gone there? Maybe it's just not as attractive a market.
If we're going back to the slide where we can see our structure, we have statistical facts that are saying what's a tier 1 city, tier 2. I mean, it's more fluently and not just like then statistic, but that's more or less the statistical fact, the statistical structure. But to this case, I would add. Do you want?
Like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 and tier 4 and plus cities are differentiated mainly because of the DGP. We want to take advantage of this synergy with Tim Hortons to enter those tier cities. McDonald's is already planning to do it, but they don't have this advantage of having something like a partnership with another company right there. So we think that that's gonna help us to enter these tier 3 and 4 plus cities to, like, for example, the logistics and stuff, for also the cost. We know it's very expensive, but we can take advantage of that.
And also to add there, for us was very interesting to see like how the Chinese also doing their strategic marketing. We can see it's also in other different industries. They're not going directly in the target markets, they're going to third markets to get up, to get the people on their side, and then to get down into high competitive markets areas, like we can see in the automotive industry in Europe, for example. And that's why it's a very important case for us to go into the Chinese market, to go there, to get the population, which is like 70% outside of the tier 1 areas, and then to get the people on their side by operating lower costs and operating prices for them.
About the time you did a handoff with a microphone, you two, you showed a slide. The title was Popeyes Stands Out. And on the right-hand side, there was a checklist. Keep going back. There were check marks in green and red on the right-hand side. There. Okay. So this is suggesting that you're just going to do everything better than everybody else? Coming from where you are, this seems hard.
Yeah, we know that it's kind of hard, but this is like a supposed scenario. Like, as I mentioned it, if the company implements everything that the points that I mentioned, this could be different, and it would be a benchmark in front of the rest of the competitors, because those are the things that KFC, McDonald's, Wallace, and Dick's, that are the main competitors, local and international chains, don't do. So that's why they have it, check marks, and the others, nope.
I mean, we know we're not going to be like the better in everything.
Perfect.
We know that. But like in the possible scenario with the proposal we're giving, we think Popeyes can like be better in this and to achieve the goals we are proposing compared to the others, brands.
Just as a personal thing, I hate delivering superior products with superior service, but charging average prices. The object of the game is to make money.
If you're targeting tier 3, how many Tim Hortons are in the tier 3 areas? If you're also talking about synergies, have you done any analysis on that?
No, we don't have any specific information about that, like the number.
Do you know where they're located, the Tims?
Yeah, we just know that the mostly parts are tier 1 cities, or so like when we're searching for Tim Hortons, and specific in this area, we're just getting the most amount of Shanghai, Beijing, and this area cities, and also tier 2 cities.
Just one observation. Obviously, the breadth and depth of your analysis is obviously quite thorough. It's a little hard to follow because you pack so much of it into your visuals. I think it proves that you've done the work and really understand it and thought through this. But for those of us just jumping in here for 15 minutes, I think to show a little less of it and save a little bit more for the answering of questions and backing up your argument, it would be even better. But it's a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, feedback-wise, Sim, less is more. I think your story could be a little tighter. And so if you are targeting tier 3, you probably do some research on the assumptions of what that means. Tell me more about who those people are. And not just by numbers, but like, do they have a car? What are they spending average-wise on the meal? If you're talking synergies with Tim Hortons China, have you looked to see if there's Tim? Because it doesn't almost matter what your proposal is. It just the pieces have to feel like they're working together in a virtuous cycle. And right now they feel like they're just a little. They just sound good on paper, but maybe connect, but maybe not. So that's where maybe a little bit less on the slides. You can spend more on like how those connections really do come together, and that would make the story feel tighter.
That's it. Thank you to all of you for being here, and thank you to our awesome competitors, each and every one, and our judges this morning and today. And the winners will be announced tonight at the awards dinner, the final dinner tonight, and also posted on social media. Thank you again, all of you, for coming, and thank you to the IB department.